Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Black History. Although today we're not diving into anything in particular, because I want to give you guys the opportunity to tell me what you want to hear about next. We're going to go on a good little roller coaster journey of some Black history moments that may have not been shedded light on to you in school, by your peers, or by your culture. So I'm going to run down a list, and I would like for you in the comments to tell me what you'd like to hear about next. Let's start. So, we have ancient and pre-colonial Black history. What does that consist of, you say? Ancient Nubia, Kush, which is a powerful African American civilization that ruled Egypt for nearly a century. Nubian pharaohs restored pyramids and Egyptian traditions. How about the Great Zimbabwe, a massive stone city built between the 11th and 15th century, proving advanced African culture and architecture and the trade and networks. What about the Mansa Musa Malay Empire, so wealthy in the 1300s that his pilgrimage to Mecca destabilized economies across the North Africa and the Middle Eastern side? Sorry if I pronounced any of that incorrectly. What about African universities? Like Timbuktu housed world-renowned libraries and scholars when much of Europe lacked formal universities. Or what about the topic of Black presence before and beyond slavery? Things such as Black explorers in the Americas, things like Black explorers in America before Columbus. Evidence suggests that African traders may have reached America centuries earlier. Or what about Estinviso in the 1500s, a Black Moroccan explorer who helped map the American Southwest and interacted with native tribes? How about the Black cowboys? About 1 in 4 cowboys in America, in the American West were Black. Yet they're almost absent from the Western movies. What about resistance, revolts, and freedom movements, such as the Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804, the only successful slave revolt in history, creating the first Black republic and terrifying slaveholding nation? What about maroon societies? Have you ever heard of that? Communities of escaped enslaved people who built independent settlements across the American nation. What about the Stono Rebellion in 1739, one of the largest slave uprisings in colonial America? What about political and legal contributions? Reconstruction era of leaders. Hundreds of Black Americans held public office in the 1860s to 1870s before being erased by Jim Crow. Or what about Black Wall Street? Tulsa, 1921. A thriving Black economic hub. Excuse me, my voice is cutting out. Black economic hub destroyed by racial violence, long excluded from history books. And I've talked to you guys about Miss Ida B. Wells, but if you want me to go in a little bit more about Miss Ida B. Wells and her journalistic ways of exposing lynching statistics decades before civil rights laws existed, we can go in a little bit more about Miss Ida B. Wells. Or how about science, innovation, and culture? Black investors, many inventions were stolen or uncredited from, like refrigerators, improvements, traffic signals, blood banks. The list goes on, and we can dive into that. Henrietta Lacks, her cells revolutionized modern medicine, used without her consent. Shall we dive into that? Origin of modern music, such as things like blues, jazz, rock, hip hop, and even country, all trace back to Black innovation. Or what about global Black history that is often ignored? Afro-Latinas, Afro-Indigenous people. Central to the histories of Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, and the Caribbeans. Black soldiers in the wars who fought for freedom abroad, while denied rights at home. What about Pan-African movements? Black thinkers across Africa, the Caribbeans, and the U.S. shaped global anti-colonial struggles. If you would like to hear about any of those topics, do me a favor. Put it in the comments. Pick your top 1 to 5. Put it in the comments and you may see that on your next Let's Talk Black History. I have been your gracious host, Tay Nicole, and these were segments that we could talk about next week in Let's Talk Black History. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. Peace out. Oh, before I leave, as always, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and let's stay black, baby.